Distance allows her to reflect on her feelings without pressure. When someone has room to breathe and think, they start noticing the things that may have gone unnoticed in the daily routine. She begins to remember the qualities that attracted her in the first place, the conversations, the energy, the way you made her feel special. Instead of being smothered or taken for granted, your absence can awaken appreciation. It's in those moments of quiet, when you are not constantly chasing or seeking validation, that she starts to feel your presence in a more meaningful, emotional way. This creates a natural pull, a magnetic effect, where she begins to reach out and engage with you, not because she feels obligated, but because she genuinely misses your presence. Additionally, distance gives you the chance to show confidence. Confidence is one of the most attractive qualities a person can possess. By stepping back, you are sending a clear message. You are secure in yourself. You have your own life, your own goals, and your own happiness. You are not dependent on her attention or validation to feel whole. This independence is incredibly appealing because it demonstrates self-respect. People are naturally drawn to those who value themselves, who have boundaries, and who do not cling or chase desperately. When she sees that you can step away without losing your composure, it triggers respect, admiration, and importantly, desire. It's also worth noting that giving distance allows for genuine connection rather than forced interaction. Many times when someone is always available, conversations become routine, interactions lose excitement, and feelings can plateau. But when you give her space, it reintroduces an element of anticipation. Each interaction becomes meaningful because it is no longer expected. It is a choice. She begins to actively engage, not passively exist in the relationship, and this elevates the emotional connection between both of you. Ultimately, the principle of giving distance is about balance. It's not about ignoring or abandoning someone. It's about understanding that attraction thrives on a mix of presence and absence, connection and independence. When applied thoughtfully, giving her distance creates an environment where desire, curiosity, and emotional intimacy can grow naturally. You are not forcing feelings. You are allowing them to emerge organically. You give her the chance to reflect, to miss, and to appreciate the value you bring into her life. And as a result, the connection becomes stronger, more authentic, and far more magnetic than anything constant attention could achieve. This is why stepping back, giving her breathing room, and allowing the natural dynamics of attraction to work is often the single most powerful move you can make in a relationship. It builds tension, fosters appreciation, and ultimately draws her closer in a way that genuine presence alone never could. Constant presence in a relationship can sometimes be mistaken for care, love, or dedication, but in reality, it can make your value invisible. When you are always available, answering every call, responding to every message instantly, and constantly showing up, your presence becomes expected rather than appreciated. Human psychology is wired to notice what is rare, meaningful, or slightly elusive. When someone is always there, the brain stops registering the effort, the attention, and the unique qualities that initially drew someone in. This is why the concept of absence highlighting value is so powerful. By stepping back strategically, you allow your worth to be recognized in ways that constant presence never could. It is not about withdrawing love or attention out of spite. It is about creating a space in which the other person begins to see your true importance and significance. When you take a step back, you allow her to feel your absence, which naturally makes her reflect on your contributions to her life. She begins to notice the little things you did that made her feel valued, secure, and happy. It could be the way you listened to her without judgment, the small gestures of care, or the energy and positivity you brought into her life. When these moments are no longer immediately available, they gain weight. Absence creates contrast. It makes her realize what she is missing. This contrast triggers an emotional awakening, helping her understand the depth of your value. It's like a subtle reminder that what once seemed ordinary is actually extraordinary, and it compels her to pay attention and appreciate your presence in ways she may not have before. This principle also works in conjunction with the natural dynamics of desire. People are instinctively drawn to things that feel significant or slightly out of reach. When your value is not constantly on display, it becomes something to be earned or rediscovered. She begins to actively notice your qualities rather than passively taking them for granted. This is different from manipulation. It is about allowing space for genuine recognition to develop. It shifts the dynamic from routine interaction to conscious appreciation. The effort she now puts into noticing you, valuing you, and engaging with you is more meaningful because it comes from a place of awareness, not habit. Furthermore, absence can reinforce your self-respect. Constantly being present without reciprocal engagement can sometimes signal desperation or dependency. By consciously stepping back, you communicate that you are secure, independent, and aware of your own worth. This signals to her that your attention is not something to be taken lightly. It is earned, appreciated, and given thoughtfully. This balance of attention and absence is magnetic. It draws people in because it mirrors the natural ebb and flow of life, reminding her that she is choosing to be part of your life rather than being passively included. It's also important to understand that absence creates opportunity for emotional reflection. When she is used to your presence, her emotions can become numb to your efforts. Distance forces her to consciously process what you mean to her, which often leads to stronger feelings. It allows for introspection. She begins to ask herself questions about her own desires, her priorities, and the depth of her feelings for you. This reflection is critical in cultivating a mature, lasting connection that is based on recognition and choice rather than mere routine. Ultimately, absence highlighting value is about balance, awareness, and strategic space. It is about creating an environment in which your worth is recognized, appreciated, and genuinely desired. By stepping back, you are not withdrawing love. You are allowing its true impact to surface. You are giving her the chance to see you not as a constant presence to be taken for granted, but as someone meaningful, significant, and worthy of her attention. This principle transforms relationships, deepens emotional bonds, and ensures that your presence is never undervalued. Giving distance in a relationship is not just about creating space for attraction or highlighting your value. It is also about gaining clarity for both individuals involved. Often, when we are deeply immersed in a relationship, emotions, expectations, and daily interactions cloud our judgment. We may become overly invested, overanalyze small behaviors, or misinterpret signals because we are too close to the situation. By giving her distance, you create a natural pause, a breathing room that allows both of you to step back and reflect on the relationship objectively. This pause is essential because it allows you to distinguish between genuine interest and superficial or temporary engagement. Clarity is not something that can always be achieved in constant proximity. It requires perspective, and perspective comes from space. When you step back, you begin to see patterns more clearly. You notice how she responds when you are not immediately available, how much effort she invests without being prompted, and whether she initiates meaningful connection on her own. This observation is crucial because it reveals her true level of interest and emotional investment. Often, people confuse attention with affection. Someone may be polite, present, or agreeable, but that does not necessarily mean they are genuinely invested. Distance allows you to differentiate between someone who is simply accustomed to your presence and someone who truly values and desires to be with you. Without this clarity, you risk overinvesting in a relationship that may not be reciprocated fully, leading to frustration, disappointment, and emotional exhaustion. Clarity also benefits your own emotional well-being. When you are constantly available and engaged, it is easy to lose yourself in the relationship, neglect your own needs, and compromise your self-respect. Giving distance allows you to reconnect with yourself, your goals, and your personal priorities. You begin to understand what you truly want from the relationship, what behaviors you are willing to accept, and where your boundaries lie. This self-awareness strengthens your confidence and ensures that your actions are guided by choice rather than compulsion or fear of loss. When you approach the relationship with clarity, you are no longer reacting impulsively to every interaction. You are making intentional decisions that reflect your values and self-worth. Moreover, distance provides her with the opportunity for introspection as well. When someone is not constantly accessible, they are forced to evaluate their own feelings, motivations, and priorities. She begins to consider why your presence matters, what emotions she experiences in your absence, and whether the connection is truly meaningful to her. This reflective process often leads to a deeper understanding of the relationship's dynamics and her own desires. In many cases, it is this period of space and reflection that triggers renewed effort and authentic engagement, because the connection becomes a conscious choice rather than a habitual pattern. Ultimately, giving distance to gain clarity is a strategic and emotionally intelligent approach. It is about creating conditions where both parties can understand their feelings without pressure, where intentions and desires are revealed organically, and where decisions are made with awareness rather than impulse. Clarity ensures that your energy is invested wisely, that emotional boundaries are respected, and the relationship evolves in a healthy and mutually beneficial way. Without it, you risk confusion, frustration, and unbalanced attachment. By stepping back, you are not withdrawing love or attention. You are cultivating understanding, insight, and intentionality. You allow both yourself and her to see the relationship for what it truly is, its strengths, its challenges, and its potential. This clarity is the foundation for a mature, meaningful connection, and it ensures that every interaction moving forward is rooted in awareness, respect, and genuine desire rather than habit or uncertainty. In any relationship, one of the most compelling qualities you can demonstrate is self-respect, and giving distance is a powerful way to cultivate and communicate it. Self-respect is the recognition of your own value, the understanding that you deserve consideration, love, and attention, and the refusal to compromise your dignity for someone else's temporary validation. Many people make the mistake of over-chasing or over-investing in someone's attention, thinking that relentless effort equals love. However, over-availability often signals insecurity rather than affection. By consciously giving her distance, you are not withdrawing your feelings. You are asserting your self-worth and demonstrating that your life, your happiness, and your emotional stability are not dependent on someone else's constant presence. This is a magnetic quality, one that naturally draws respect, admiration, and interest. Self-respect and empowerment go hand in hand. When you step back, you create a space in which your actions are intentional, not reactive. You are no longer reacting to every text, call, or perceived sign of disinterest. Instead, you approach the relationship from a position of awareness and control. This shift changes the dynamic entirely. It signals that you are confident enough to allow things to unfold naturally, without desperate attempts to force connection. Empowerment comes from this ability to prioritize yourself while still caring for the other person. It is the balance between love and autonomy, a balance that is profoundly attractive because it communicates maturity and emotional intelligence. Distance also provides a mirror for behavior. By giving her space, you are indirectly encouraging her to recognize and appreciate your value. When someone is constantly available, their presence can be taken for granted, and their unique qualities may fade into the background. Absence, on the other hand, shines a light on what is missing. She begins to reflect on the moments where your attention, energy, and care made a difference. She notices the ways in which your presence elevated her life emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually. This recognition often leads to renewed effort, deeper appreciation, and authentic engagement, because she is responding to your demonstrated value rather than routine familiarity. Empowerment through distance also strengthens your emotional resilience. It teaches you that your sense of worth is internal, not dependent on constant affirmation from someone else. This internal sense of value allows you to remain calm and composed, even in moments when the other person seems distant or uncertain. Instead of spiraling into anxiety, overthinking, or attempts to control the relationship, you maintain your dignity, which further enhances your attractiveness. People are naturally drawn to those who exhibit calm, confident energy, those who are steady, self-assured, and emotionally independent. Your empowerment becomes a magnetic force, pulling rather than pushing, encouraging connection rather than chasing it. Moreover, giving distance while maintaining self-respect ensures that interactions are based on mutual choice rather than obligation. When you are not constantly available, she engages with you because she genuinely wants to, not because she feels accustomed to it. This choice-based interaction fosters authenticity, emotional depth, and long-term connection. Relationships thrive when both parties are present voluntarily and wholeheartedly, rather than out of habit or compulsion. Your self-respect lays the foundation for this dynamic, ensuring that the bond formed is rooted in genuine desire and mutual respect. Ultimately, self-respect and empowerment are inseparable from the concept of distance. By stepping back strategically, you demonstrate confidence, assert your value, and invite authentic engagement. You stop seeking validation externally and instead create conditions where your worth is recognized naturally. This approach transforms the relationship dynamic, allowing love and connection to emerge from choice and appreciation rather than desperation or routine. In the end, the act of giving distance is a declaration. You value yourself enough to allow space, and in doing so, you cultivate an environment in which respect, desire, and genuine connection can flourish. Giving someone space in a relationship is not just about creating tension or testing their feelings. It is about encouraging voluntary connection. This principle is often overlooked, yet it is one of the most powerful dynamics in building a meaningful and lasting bond. Many people make the mistake of constantly chasing attention, affection, or validation, believing that persistence guarantees emotional closeness. However, when someone is always available and accommodating, interactions can become routine, predictable, and even taken for granted. By strategically giving her distance, you create an environment in which she engages with you out of genuine desire rather than obligation or habit. This voluntary choice is what strengthens attraction, deepens emotional connection, and fosters a more balanced, respectful relationship. When you step back, she is given the opportunity to evaluate her own feelings and motivations. Distance acts as a mirror, reflecting the reality of the relationship and prompting introspection. She begins to ask herself questions. Does she genuinely miss your presence? Does she value your energy and attention? Is the connection meaningful to her beyond routine interactions? These moments of self-reflection are critical because they encourage authentic engagement. When she reaches out voluntarily, her actions carry weight, intention, and sincerity, qualities that forced or habitual behavior can never achieve. Voluntary connection is deeply empowering for both parties, as it ensures that the relationship is rooted in genuine choice rather than dependency. Giving space also allows you to step back